Hello guys, so in this video what we're gonna do is a more a concept video. It's just to give you sort of an idea, especially on the side control, on the bottom, the guy on top, and you know what sort of you should look for to escape. So it's not an easy position to escape, especially the guys on top of you, he's controlling with his weight. There's no magic to escape. From white belt is a big guy holding, you're gonna struggle to escape, because you've been crushed. It's not an easy position. When you reach your black belt, you're still gonna struggle to get out. So don't you think there's a miracle that's gonna make everything looks wonderful the better you become? I think that the better you are, your defense gets better, and that's very important. Even though that the person you might block and you escape for a little while, because it takes time for you until you create a gap or the person makes a mistake that you're gonna escape. But the most important thing, in the meantime, your defense has to be good, because you don't want to expose yourself. So by the time you escape, your defense is good, your arm is always in control. As the person is struggling to attack you, you're going to look for your way out. The better your defense, the more escape the person on top is going to give you, because he's going to constantly trying to fight for a better position. So your defense has to be very good. Your hands always defending your neck, elbows always in. The person cannot, the more you open your arm, your elbows, the more open you'll be, the harder it is for you to escape. So elbows always in. One hand always on the neck, the other one can stay low. You can switch, you can stay both hands on top, defending. Be very careful to keep both hands out, because you always unprotect your neck. Some people, they like to be there, but the body movement has to be very sharp as the person comes to attack your neck. So I would say, one of the good positions to be, you can stay one leg, one arm down, blocking the mouth, everything that goes in with the knee, and at the same time the other one, you stay nice and sharp, defending the neck, and then the moment that they start coming to your arm, then you escape. So with the person on top, elbows always in, one always sort of on the neck, the other on the hips. So here, if you think there's three main escapes that people use the most, there's a few others, but mainly the most common are three. One, putting back in the guard. The knee that's blocking the mouth. I'm gonna start pushing my hips in, get the knee, and then I will initiate getting back in the guard. Now he can switch the arm over and under. The arm is completely blocking my legs to go back in the guard, but at the same time, now I'm gonna look for the gap for my arm to go in, turning on my knees, and then I'm gonna carry on going on my knees till I'm out. And then in position the arms, you go both arms in one side. There's no way that I can go in. Even though that my arm will go, his arm is blocking my head. There's no way you're gonna turn that way. Then the arm that stays on the hips are gonna start coming inside, sort of blocking the shoulders. I'll move my hips out, and then I shoot on my knees without exposing my back. Remember to do that when you turn away from him. You don't want to just roll out. My back is exposed. A good guy here is going to track the neck. So going to start getting the hooks inside. If you're going to look to escape that way, always stop the person following you. Move your hips out, because now when I go on my knees, my back is not exposed. I'm too far. Now I'm ready to face his legs. So I would say, especially for me, I always keep those three escapes in mind, and then I always see which one, he's gonna give me more escape. Because every action you do, you create a reaction. The moment that the person feels that knee coming in, you can always expect the hand to go straight in there. That's a natural defense, especially when he feels the knee going inside. The arm, most of the time, is gonna go right in there. So my escape now will depend on the position of the other arm. If he stays here blocking my head, I already know that there's no way I can turn my body towards him. He's controlling the head. So that's a waste of time. So now I'm going to start blocking the shoulder and freeing my other hand. The moment that my hand comes out, now I can go out that way. Sometimes the person who feels the arm goes in, he switches. Boom. Now his body's imposed. It's very hard for me to turn that way. I'm getting pinned down. So I go for try one, trying to go into my back, then suddenly I'm going back into my knees. or suddenly he remove the hand, he's holding my arm. Now I'm back trying to put him back in the guard. So it's a combination of escapes. I would say it's very, very difficult for you to put one escape on your mind and go for that one. Because the moment that the person feel what you're trying to do, he will block. He will do his best to try to neutralize what you're doing. Especially on top, it's not that hard to feel what you're trying to do. A person that wants to be in the guard the whole time, he's constantly going to try to bring his legs in. The arm is going to stay on that floor blocking the leg. You know, you're going to put the knee in, he's not going to leave the arm out of there. So he's blocking. The moment that you feel that's your main escape, he's going to keep the arm there while he's looking to attack. So you have to have other options. So for me, you know, especially, the best way for you to escape is you have to combine your escapes. People with long and flexible legs that they like to bring the legs in. You know, if you constantly try only to bring your legs, most likely you're going to end up exposing yourself to other taps because the person is expecting that. When you do something that they're not expecting, then it's one of the hardest to get you because he's not prepared for what is coming. So side control, your defense has to be very good. Don't never let them open your elbows. Keep your elbows in. One hand always defending the neck. You can go both sides. If it comes the attack, the other one you can stay low, blocking. You can switch. See which arm do you feel more comfortable blocking down. Some people, you feel too threatening in the neck, keep both arms up, blocking the hips on the forearm. You know, use your elbows to escape. Never your hand. You know, this is not a bench press competition. You don't want to push with the hands. You want to use your elbows. You know, the hardest part of your elbow, you can create a nice structure that you can, you can hold, over 100 kilos that easily without making an effort. You know, you're trying to push it with the hands. After a few seconds, your arms are burning, your shoulders you're getting tired. When you're out of there, your energy is gone. So, try it out. Okay, guys. So this is to answer Felipe's question. You ask us, when you're in the side control in the bottom and there's a big guy who's holding you and he's not really want to do anything, what's the best way to escape? So against a big guy or a strong guy, he just want to hold, it's quite easy. Then it's quite easy to trap in the half guard. So when the person's really strong and he's holding, regardless of which way the guy, especially when he grabs your head in your arm. So I'm going to grab my arm and I'm going to trap inside and I want to reach his far leg. And I'm just going to straighten my arm and whatever I grab it or whatever I make it grip, that's fine. Usually, you will grab around on his knee height. So when I do that, the other arm can be here or inside. Doesn't really matter. I would say this one is good to keep on his arm. So now I'm going to bridge, because when I bridge, I want to lift his knee off the floor. So when I bridge, I kind of push it up. Even if it's a small gap, it doesn't really matter because I'm going to bring my leg in. I want to trap the leg into the half guard. So even if the guy holds you really tight and keep it strong, see when I bridge, his knee comes off the floor and then I grab my leg, I push right underneath. So just the knee look. The moment that my knee is inside, now I trap with my other leg. Because if I try to bring this leg in, sometimes he can block. Especially now, he's going to start using his other hand on the floor and to push it out. You don't want that to happen. So the moment that I can get my leg inside, then I throw the other one out. So throwing the other leg, that's when I trapped him. Now I can let go. Now he's in the half guard. Now I'm trying to put him back in the guard. Okay guys, so in this video, I'm gonna show you the Americana when the guy is sort of passing your guard. Is that time a submission attempt? I would not recommend for you to do in a tournament. Don't let the person pass your guard to go for the lock because it's too risky. Something goes wrong, the guy get punched, that means you can lose your fight. Something that you can have fun in the academy, or he already passed your guard, you feel no hope of replacing, then you quickly go for the arm because it's very difficult to expect. And it's a very quick submission. So even though when you're doing it in your academy, with your training partners, be careful because it's an unexpected situation. And then suddenly he's a lot of pressure on your shoulder. So, be careful. You don't want to injure your training partners. So it's a sort of thing that as the guy is passing your guard, you have to avoid this grip. If he grabs there, it's over. I cannot attempt to attack the arm and it becomes even harder. to get him the person out away. So whichever way he's passing the guard is avoiding that grip onto your head. So it'll be my opposite arm reaching over to his wrist, especially the arm usually comes straight to try to go for your neck. So as he come in, look, I grab from underneath. With the other arm, which can be any different places blocking him. So as he pass, I go right in, and then you push. So be very careful as you lean the arm. The worst case scenario, he start pushing his body away to go. You can always replace guard. But it's like I say, it's a dangerous position for the person who's not seeing. And then you go for it. With this arm, the hand kind of close to your ear. As the arm is coming, you stop. You move over to your head. The arm is already there. Then straight. Try it out. Okay guys, so now let's work. Escaping from side control, stay back to guard. Then work on our defense. We managed to get the leg between us and closing the guard again. So that's cool. So the guys on the side control, elbows in, always working with the knees. This is very important defense. The other arm, the hands, they vary. They go from one side to the other, always looking to defend. But that knee and that elbow is very important, especially the person on that side. So he's right on top of you. One forearm, I can place my hand on his shoulders, keep on top of him. I want to bother him on his neck a little bit so he doesn't hold me so tight. In my other forearm, I want to concentrate on his hips, because I want that as much space between us as possible. So now crossing my leg to defend the mount, and straight away I want to touch that knee right on his body. The more the gap I close, the better for me. There's no space for him to do anything. So now I have a good defense position. Now I'm going to start using my left foot on the floor, start moving my hips away. My right leg is looking for the first gap he appears, just go right between us. So as I start moving, my body starts turning him, and I start using my elbows to keep him where he is. The knee goes in. Now it's time for my hands to start pushing. We're going to start looking for his hips and his shoulder. But at the same time, I'm going to use my leg. I'm going to force my knee towards him and move my body away. So I'm still facing him. I'm going to get the knee as far inside as I can. So now it's time to switch the hips. Now I'm facing him. I got to face him the other way. The other leg is already over. Forcing him to do right back in the guard. Okay, so this is for Jenny. Jenny, we're asking the side control. The person's grabbing your head, keeping your hand like to controlling one side of your body. You saw in one of our videos that I rolled away to escape, and then people get in your back. It's always tricky to turn away from the person, because it's always risky to be, get your back taken. So you have to be very careful and very aware, timing to go. But the one thing that is crucial is you have to move your hips away. So you have to create a gap between your body and his before you turn into your knees. And when you go, you have to go as fast as you can. You don't have to be super fast, but it's in one continuous movement with no stopping. So it's not a slow turn. Because the moment that you move your hips away, they will try to catch you up. And then by the time they try, you should be already getting to your knees. If you take too long, they get your back. Or if the gap you open between your hips and your opponent, it wasn't so big, by the time you're trying to turn, he'll be quickly on your back, threatening the hooks. So the way that I like to do this is probably one of my best escapes, one that I'm most successful, is exactly this one. I'm very aware that it's dangerous for my back, but I already know that straight away after, I might have to defend the back, before they accommodate and get the hooks in. So I want my arm out. So I don't want to do with my arm in. I'm going to find that space. It doesn't matter how tight he's on me first. My hand needs to come out of his body. See, the hand has to be outside. Because when I start turning, I need to block his body to move my hips away. See, this must happen. Because now is when I go the arm from there, and my leg and my arm, they go together. because now I'm facing his leg. So that's what you need. What do you call it? So you want, by the time you get to your knees, you're facing the legs. If you're not facing the legs, if they're behind you, it was a mistake. So you shouldn't, because you don't want to expose your back. But it's all about turning your hips out. So my hands will stop his body while my hip moves. If I wasn't able to gain that gap, don't go, because he will get your back. So then it's too risky for you to turn into your back. A good guy, he will get your back every time. So block him. So the hand needs to be here. His both arms needs to be on that side. So I block him anywhere, like shoulders. And then I turn. See, I'm holding. Look how far my hips went. Now I know it's going to be safe for me. But my arm, I won't carry on pushing, because he can trap the arm, and then I'm stuck. So by the time I throw my leg, I throw my arm. Look. And see this arm? As I turn in on my knees, look, it's already coming out in case he tries to follow up to get my back. So the arm needs to come, because a good guy or a good opponent, he will go around to your back. If he doesn't, I mean, he should. So, he's giving up trying to get the back, and a great chance to do so. So you should always, even if they don't, if you're training with a beginner, but the arm needs to come out to stop him going around to get your back. So try it out.
Hi everybody. Listen, we're trying to give some tips to help in certain situations, right? And there's something that always helps me a lot when somebody has side control on me and they're putting pressure and attacking a lot. There's a very simple way, it's quite effective and to protect yourself against head grips around your neck and stuff when you have somebody in your side control. And it works just like this. Look, every time that this happens, you know that arm is gonna come in and start giving you a lot of pressure. So sometimes, look, you can slide your hand in under the guy's armpit. You bridge to create a little bit of space, and you place the palm of your hand on your forehead. This will allow you some mobility here with your head. If the arm is insisting on staying on this side, look, you can elevate your elbow and give it to the other hand, and you hold here, look, and push. At least you get out of that pressure of side control. Whatever he tries to do now, when it's like this, they usually jump over the head to jump to the other side. When they do that, look, grab the leg, and you go onto your fours. It's a way of turning onto your fours, without exposing yourself that much. But then again, every time they're trying to do these escapes, like the ones that we did previously or other days, it's about trying to escape before it's too late. Sometimes people wait too much to start answering back to what it has been doing to them. And then it actually becomes too late, and it's difficult to escape. Some grips are quite tight, and it's not easy, but trying to anticipate the danger, paying attention to where the danger is coming from, and protect yourself a bit more. So we're here. I got a bridge. Look, I usually look that way because I don't have space to come in here. So see, my forearm comes up, look, I grab and now I look. Now big bridge, look. Pass it to the hand, make your frame, hold the elbow, the inside of the elbow, and extend this arm fully, look, like that. This will make him change. Go from the leg, get on.
Okay guys, so now in this video we're going to show the escape from the paper cut choke. So I'm sure there's a people, they do different escapes. I'm gonna show the one that I like to do a lot when I'm caught on that move, because you need to hide your head so he doesn't find, you know, the second arm doesn't come to choke you. So the hand that is inside, I'll show that. So you get caught, he just trapped your arm, the arm is trapped. So what I have to do, first thing, I need to hide my head. So my right arm that's on inside, I'm gonna start straightening up, look, because you help me, my body to rotate. So I keep the arm pressing against his back because he will try to move down to reposition himself to come in, to finish, okay? So I need to, when I hide my head, I think I got it. So now he so now when I do that, I open escape for this arm to go in, look. See? When I move north-south, I hold myself there. So he cannot find my neck. And this hand always fighting against this arm. Because he can reach the collar, he will, but then he just keep his elbow pointing out and my head underneath him. Because now the other hand, now there's more than enough space, look, to bring the arm inside. So when this arm comes in, two hands against his arm, there's no chance he can choke, you know. So you go north-south, you go straight to north-south. He will try to attack, so use your arm to fight against his. Now that hand, you bring it inside. And then, because I'm not holding him anymore, so he will move down. The moment that he does, look. Now this, he cannot beat my two hands. Now it's over. So start, you know, always defending. So the arm, I'm gonna start pushing so I hold his body so he cannot go through the arm. I go north-south, so now my hand comes in, I keep pressing my arm against him. Now the hand goes inside. And now he will relocate himself, he positions. The moment that he does, now my hands are here. So when he goes, come and find my neck, now I have two hands. He will not pass this, because it's easy for me to, you know, to beat his arm.
Just one thing, when he put this arm here, his body was slightly sideways. So he was not flat on the floor. See? Alright, that's what made this work so well. And all I can do now is jump to the side and try to get side control back, because what I was attempting to do is gone. Okay guys, I want to show you a drill that I've been using for years, and it helps a lot of the students, and I've been using it to teach as well. It's a real important and basic drill that I think will help all of you. Now, this is it. It's really important that you ask your opponent to put both hands on the floor on the other side, not the elbows. You need this space to do the drill. And then you bring both your arms right in the middle, one under the armpit and the other one on the hip bone right here. So you can close your fist. Now, bridge, move your hip to the side just to create a little bit of space. At this point, this hand has to go to the other side of his body, so I'll use this hand to boost me up. Look, one. At this point, I'll put my elbow on the floor to give me a little bit of space so I can bring my knee up. Look, the knee touches the elbow right here. And it's really, really important that people, while they're doing this, because what you see a lot is when they get here, they do this. Look, and they flatten themselves on the floor. That's a real, it's not very, very good, because the guy can just throw his weight on top of you and you're in trouble. So basically what you do is here, you sweep, look, boost up, elbow, knee, and then you bring the other knee down, because you want to put your head up, forcing it that way. Hand goes to the side, look. Now, switch hands, bring them both at the same place. Nice. To the other side, elbow, knee, head goes up, hand goes down. Nice. And you start over and over. That's it. Thanks, guys.
So this video is to Jonathan. Jonathan, you asked from the Kimura, when the guy has the Kimura grip locked on the side control. So a lot of things can happen from there. So ideally, with the person just on your side holding the Kimura, especially if you're holding your belt defend, he can go nowhere. So the person attacking has to progress. So he has to kind of step over your head and turn sideways. That's when you have to escape, you have to react. If the person's on your side just locking the Kimura, you're holding the belt, if my back's flat on the floor, there's no need for a lot of reaction from me. The one thing that I would look for is they can use that to mount. So so be careful with the person stepping over your body and mount, because sometimes I use that personally. I go for the Kimura, they get distracted, I throw my leg and mount. So watch out for that, but as long as your back is flat on the floor, you're safe. You cannot finish the Kimura, especially if you're holding your belt, has a defense grip holding the other arm. But when the person is stepping over, it's different. So let's do the defense when the person step over. So has the grip, let's say I'm holding my belt. Of course I come with the support hand. So the moment that he stepped over my body, now I'm in danger. Because now I'm relying on my grip. He breaks that, I tap. So here, there's a few things you can do. The one thing that usually I look for is to get me out of this position. So I hold my belt to stay tight. The other hand, I come into his leg. So she's gonna get the angle, put your hand there. Because now I'm gonna start pushing and turning my body over.
It didn't work.
So get your free arm in his knee. You break, you push out. So with my hand, it's hard for him to step over my body again. So now the main thing is see my elbows on the outside. Once it goes in, then I'm out. My back goes on the floor. As long as my elbow is still in his bicep, he can still force me on my side again. So after you escape, the hand will come into his arm. Get the elbow in. Now he's out. Now it's, he might be still holding my arm, but there's no Kimura grip here. And my back's flat on the floor. Watch out, don't let him out.
I let him do it. All right, everybody. We'll do another escape from headlock on the floor. This time he doesn't have my arm entirely, so my arm is kind of loose. So basically I'm here. I'm hiding my arm here. Look, whenever you're trying to hide your elbow, do not elevate it from the floor, because that's exactly what he wants. He'll pull your elbow up and you get stuck. So try to hide your elbow here and come in with your frame. Look, see, one arm, the other one comes in, you frame it up and you hold nice and tight. What you need to do now is move your hip out and come with it. Right. You see how I escaped? I got here. I came. I went out. And I grabbed. Oh, look. Get your arm out. You most likely, this grip is very hard to break. So you want to kind of escape out of it. Like this. Look. That way. Now I want to finish with an arm bar, so I have to align my body with the submission that I want. So I'm going to change arms. Look, push his head with this one, so I can put my elbow on the floor. Now my leg is caught underneath the person's body. Look, if you want, give the lapel to your hand, and look, get your knee out from underneath him. And when you get here, you don't need anything else except bringing your knee up. Look. Break the grip that way and finish with the arm.